Chapter 3742. Jiyu continued. Brother Hua won't tell us. He only listens to Sister Guogua. It's good that you know. Forget about going down Brother Hua's path. Let's just wait. Anyway, we'll definitely know when the day comes. I heard that someone has already come to buy your manga copyright and plans to make an anime. Jiyu said, You're amazing. Yi Yuling, you're not bad either. You're so much younger than me. I heard that Sister Tang said that someone is also inquiring about your anime copyright. When Jiyu heard this, her eyes lit up. If I can sell it, then I'll be rich. I'll have real financial freedom. Fortunately, Sister Guogua isn't a profiteer. I once told her that money isn't important as long as it's signed. Jiyu patted her head. Now I really want to go back and blow my head off. When has Sister Tang ever made us suffer? Don't you know Sister Tang's reputation in the industry? A philanthropist. It's said that when she first bought the website, she spent hundreds of millions in order to open up various channels. Money is great. Jiyu's dark eyes seem to have money written all over them. All my money is still with Sister Guogua. When I'm free, that amount should be a lot. I'm a little excited just thinking about it. Yi Yuling couldn't help but laugh. Be careful. If the fans see it in the future, it will ruin their impression of you. Got it. Jiyu stopped smiling and became incomparably cold and serious. Is that so? On the other side, Kong Un's interview was still going on. Neither Jiyu nor Yi Yuling left. They mingled in the crowd and heard the reporter ask Kong In what he planned to do next, and if he had any new inspiration. Kong In smiled slightly. I plan to take a break for a month. I already have inspiration for the next work. I'll meet everyone in a month. Oh, is that so? That's great. This news is really a surprise for the fans who like ENN. So can ENN reveal a little about the genre of the new work? Hearing that Kong Un had a new work, Jiyu and Yi Yuling looked at each other at the same time, and finally decided to continue listening. Kong Un smiled the whole time. Looking at everyone's expectant look, he stroked the hair hanging down by his ear and said, Since everyone is so expectant, then I'll reveal a little. This time, I might have to return to the style of Small Alley. After all, it's so sweet every day and it's easy to get tired. I want to change my taste. We're really looking forward to it. At the end of the meeting, Jiyu and Yi Yuling got in the car and planned to go back. The two of them began to discuss it. We have to pay attention to it and see what kind of product she will release next month, Jiyu said seriously with a conflicted expression. I've already followed her account. I'm following it too. Yi Yuling glanced out of the car window. Kong En, I hope you cherish your reputation and don't plagiarize other people's works. Otherwise, you'll be in trouble sooner or later. Sister Tang was no pushover. Tang Gua asked them to publish overseas first. It was as if she was setting up a trap and waiting for someone to fall into her trap. If he had to guess who this person was, it could only be Kong Un. Recently, Tang Gua had been paying attention to Kong Un's situation. She calculated that Kong Un would soon plagiarize Yi Yuling's second work. At the same time, she also had to serialize the veteran's military work. His appetite was not just a little bit big. Vertex. Chapter 3743. Guogua, what are you doing? Are you busy looking for your horse again? Or are you burning money to open some channels? After receiving Hua Yan's call, Tang Gua couldn't help but laugh out loud. What about young Master Hua? Your dark circles from yesterday still haven't disappeared. Your nightlife is always so rich. Busy people. Guogua, don't you know what I did at night? Other than writing the script, I'm busy writing the script. The dark circles under my eyes are all because of the torment. I just finished part of it. I'm going to have a meal with you. Strike a balance between work and rest. Where are you? Wait for me. I'll come and pick you up. Hearing Tang Gua's agreement, Hua Yan was very happy. He didn't care about anything else. He threw the script down and ran out. The director originally came to talk to Hua Yan about the script. This time, the cast was more powerful. There was also a famous singer, Zhuo Jing, to sing the opening song. In the end, seeing Hua Yan rush out without looking back, he had a headache. He felt that his status in the crew was the lowest. The investors were the masters, the actors were the masters, and the scriptwriter was also the master. He, the director, was a pitiful person who no one loved. Hua Yin quickly came to pick up Tang Gua. The two of them went to a frequented restaurant. After so many years, when are you going to make a move? The happiest thing in the past few years was that they became boyfriend and girlfriend. The unhappy thing was that Kong En had been plagiarizing his girlfriend's work and hadn't stopped. He could find the time records of all the songs that Kong En wrote for Zhuojing on Tang Gua's private website. Moreover, before Kong En gave it to Zhuojing, Tang Gua had sung it for him. So every time he saw Kong En enjoying the limelight with his girlfriend's work, he gritted his teeth in hatred. He especially wanted to rush up and yell at everyone. "You little girl, you're really shameless. This is his woman's work. Aren't you afraid of ruining your hands?" And that Zhuojing, he also didn't like her. She sang plagiarized songs. Wasn't she afraid of ruining her mouth? "Young Master Hua, what's the hurry?" "I'm not in a hurry. Let's take it slow. Anyway, she won't have a good ending." Hua Yin sighed. "So many good works. These honors should have been yours. I'm just angry for you." Tang Gua quickly stood up and sat next to him. She patted his back and said, "Calm down. It's easy to get old when you're angry. When we get together in the future, people will think that we're father and daughter. You really need to take good care of yourself. Look at your dark circles. Those who don't know would really think that your nightlife is so rich. In the future, when I'm too old and people ask, I'll just say that I don't know you." "Guogua, you're going overboard." Hua Yin was still a little worried. He quickly took out his phone and turned on the mirror function. He saw that he had 2 dark circles under his eyes. "It seems a little serious. I'll try not to stay up late in the future." When the two of them walked down the street, people should be praising them for their talent and beauty, not for their father and daughter. By the way, Zhuojing is holding a concert in June. Hua Yan's expression became a lot more serious. "I reckon that they'll be singing Kong En's works. There might even be new songs." "Is that so?" Tang Gua remembered that there was indeed such a thing. "Have you interacted with Zhuojing before? What do you think of her as a person?" "She's all right. She's not very good. She's not a bad person," Hua Yan said. "I haven't interacted much. After all, she's a popular singer. How could she have so much time for people like us behind the scenes?" Chapter 3744. Tang Gua giggled. "That's because young Master Hua didn't reveal his identity. If you spend some money, no matter how popular a singer or celebrity is, they'll arrange time to meet you. So what do you think?" Hua Yin leaned back in his chair and put his arm around Tang Gua's shoulder. He even suggested, "Guogua, let's discuss something. Can you not call me young Master Hua? Brother Hua sounds better than young Master Hua. I feel uncomfortable calling you young Master Hua all day." "I like it. Sai, how about this? You can change your name occasionally. Maybe you'll find something else interesting." "All right, we'll talk about it when I want to change my name." Hua Yin pondered over this sentence. It seemed that his application to change her name had not been successful. He wondered if she would change her name after they got married. She probably would. After all, she couldn't possibly call him young Master Hua after they got married, right? How strange would that be? Hence, Hua Yin suddenly wanted to get married. "I plan to open my private website and let Zhuojing's people see the works inside and see how they react. We didn't produce any evidence for the previous matter, so it's understandable that Zhuojing gave up on me." Tang Gua looked up. "I'll give him a chance to choose. If he finds out the truth and chooses to cancel the concert, it doesn't matter if he helps me or not. He has no obligation to do so. This matter will have nothing to do with him anymore." "Young Master Hua, what do you think?" Hua Yin agreed. "I think it's good. If it were someone else, they wouldn't be able to tell the truth when they don't know the truth. They would only believe the evidence on the surface." "Guogua's idea is really good. You're indeed a great philanthropist." "Why are you talking about a philanthropist?" Hua Yin leaned over and kissed her cheek. "Isn't it? Look at the comic creators under you. Which one of them doesn't support you? Which family's treatment could be better than yours? You're not a businessman at all. You're doing charity. I just didn't expect charity to make money. Then do you need my help with this plan?" Tang Gua remembered Hua Yin saying that Zhuojing was going to help record the opening theme song for the new script. She said, "Okay, I'll leave this to you. Show this website to the people around Zhuojing." I wonder how they will react. If they choose to continue hiding, they may find someone to attack your private website. Do you have a backup? Hua Yin guessed that Tang Guo must have a backup. This was her style. I have backups on the websites of all the countries. Even in China, I have set up a few private websites. Also, my personal account also has a record of my photos. When the time comes, I will open them one by one. Alright, then there's no problem. Hua Yin secretly calculated and said, Guo, I helped you with such a big matter. Do you want to give me a reward? We've been dating for so many years, and you've treated me to a meal every time. I want to try something new. Tang Guo looked surprised. I thought you liked me to eat with you the most, so I took you to eat delicious food every time. Of course I like you to eat with me, but I also want more rewards. For example, if you call me Brother Hua, I'll be very satisfied. System TSK. He's really shameless. He must have been a dragon bone in his previous life. He didn't even have a kiss. In this life he kept asking for benefits. He was as shameless as a sticky candy. Chapter 37:45. Alright, Brother Hua, I'll leave this matter to you. You're welcome. You're my girlfriend. Your matters are my matters. Isn't it only right to help my girlfriend? Hua Yin was overjoyed. After a few years, he had finally advanced from young Master Hua to Brother Hua. After they got married, he would definitely call him hubby. He was a little excited just thinking about it. He felt that the next time he participated in a novel, he could ask the authors about what he should do when he was in a relationship, so that his girlfriend would be happier. Because of Hua Yan's idea, he later contacted the authors on the website, and pulled those who wrote particularly well into a small group to discuss this matter. At that time, after he expressed his thoughts, the entire group fell silent. After a long time, the authors spoke one after another. Brother Hua, are you looking down on single dogs? Brother Hua, did you deliberately pull us in to kill us? Brother Hua, you're too unkind. You're abusing single dogs. I'm going to report you to the Animal Protection Association. Oh my God, help. Someone here wants my dog life. At that time, Hua Yin realized that the authors were all single dogs. It was a waste of his enthusiasm. Everyone in the Dream Building Station knew about the matter between Hua Yin and Tang Guo. Tang Guo was a famous philanthropist, and Hua Yin only had eyes for her. Tang Guo had a good relationship with this group of authors and artists. She often flooded the group. Basically, every time Hua Yin came out, everyone would shout that someone was coming to catch the dog and kill it, telling everyone to leave quickly. Although Tang Guo had opened many mobile channels for the Dream Station, she did not expand the website or have other ideas. The name of this website was called the Dream Station. The meaning was very clear. As the internet became more and more developed, the authors and artists earned more and more. They all became her cash cow. Money or not, she really did not lack this thing. However, she did not expect it to be so good. During this period, it was not that there were no other companies that wanted to buy the Dream Station, but she had no intention of doing so. There were also people who attacked their website. Tang Guo had a capable little system, but no one succeeded. They were even implanted with some strange viruses that could only be solved by smashing the computer. This made some hackers' hearts ache. The system also wrote a program. Any pirated works of their dream building website will be attacked by a virus, and in a short while they will die. Therefore, those who made pirated copies would not come to steal the works of the dream building website. This was simply a paradise for those who pursued their literary dreams. Of course, if one wanted to survive in the dream building station, one needed to have real skills. This website was protected by the system, so there was no way to access any data. It was impossible to escape the system's eyes. As long as this situation was maintained, Tang Guo believed that this website would be a pure land many years later. It was also because of this that the threshold for Dream Builder's website was very high. Everyone could publish their own works, but if the work was not good, the readers might not buy it, and the editors might not take a liking to it. They could only generate for the sake of love. Maintaining this style, the Dream Station did not continue to expand. It also gave other websites with different styles space to survive. This was what Tang Guo needed. On the other side, Zhuojing was preparing to record the opening song of the TV series that Hua Yin was in charge of writing. Chapter 3746. Hua Yin had been paying attention to Zhuojing for a long time. When Zhuojing went over, he went over as well. He chatted with the director for a while, and then went to the recording studio to listen to the song. Unsurprisingly, this song was taken out by Kong Un. Nowadays, many TV dramas would ask Kong In for a song if they had a good cast. If he hadn't planned to ask Tang Guo what to do, Hua Yin would have tried to stop the director from using this song. If he knew about this, he would have stopped the crew from buying this song. After all, this was his woman's song. That shameless guy was addicted to copying it. Brother Lu. After listening for a while, Hua Yin felt that it was about time. He showed a puzzled expression and called Zhuojing's manager. Hua Yin, what's wrong? Hua Yin whispered. Brother Lu, I found a problem. I think I've seen the lyrics of this song somewhere before. After saying this, Lu Quan's expression changed, but soon returned to normal. I remember that your crew bought this song from Kong Un. The lyrics look familiar. Have you seen it before? Brother Lu, I'm sure that's not it. The director didn't show us this before. You know that these things are confidential. How could he show us the content in advance? I see. Then where did you see it? Hua Yin's lips curved. He felt that things were on track, and pulled Lu Quan to another room. He took out his phone and looked at the webpage. He muttered, I accidentally found a place. I saw a lot of songs and lyrics. This song's name is quite special. I clicked on it. I wonder if the record is still there. Oh, I found it. Brother Lu, look. There are many songs and lyrics recorded here. Lu Quan didn't care at first, but to be safe, he took it and looked at it. He found that all of Zhuojing's songs were recorded in it. Calculating the time, these songs and lyrics were recorded a few years ago. Lu Quan's expression became more and more serious. He continued to look and found that Zhuojing's new song in June was also recorded. The time recorded here was much earlier than Kong Un had given them. It was a few years ago. Lu Quan wasn't sure if Kong Un had moved someone else's things. What if it was a misunderstanding? Therefore, he sent the URL to himself, and planned to go back and think about it. Hua Yin didn't mind Lu Quan's absent-mindedness. He had already taken care of the matter, and now it was up to Zhuojing to decide. After Lu Quan returned home, he quickly opened the private website. This time, he started reading from the beginning. When he saw the first article, he knew that Kong Un had copied someone else's work. The person on this private website was the real author. Because at the beginning, the author wrote about her own experience. She said that because she didn't keep a proper record, her work had been stolen by someone else, but she couldn't produce any evidence. From now on, she wanted to leave all her works on this private website. Judging from all the time, she really was the original author. Lu Quan flipped all the way down and found that there were some songs that Kong Un did not take away. He did not know why, but that was not important. He had already determined that Kong Un had stolen someone else's work. Therefore, Lu Quan hurriedly went to find Zhuojing and told her everything. Chapter 3747. So it was Kong Un who copied someone else's work, and the lyricist and composer was wronged? Zhuojing asked. Lu Quan nodded. Yes. Your concert is in June. Not many people visit this private website. If I hadn't accidentally discovered it, I wouldn't have known that it would be recorded on it. I don't think the other party has been doing anything, because they want to let things ferment to a certain extent and beat Kong Un into the mud pit. The concert in June can't be cancelled. Zhuojing rubbed her forehead. And cancelling it can only calm things down temporarily. Once this incident breaks out, it will have a great impact on me. I used to sing songs written by Kong Un. If things break out, I won't be able to clear my name. That's what I mean. We are now in the same boat as Kong Un. I mean, find someone to hack this website and erase all traces. This is a private website, and the other party can't come up with any evidence once and for all. Lu Quan said. At present, this is the best way. In addition, we will find someone else to write songs in the future and not sing Kong Un's songs. Otherwise, we don't know what will happen. Okay, let's do that. Okay, then you rest first, I'll do it. Lu Quan went down and quickly contacted the hacker and asked the other party to help deal with this matter. Host, your previous private website has been hacked, and all the data on it has disappeared. Okay, I know Zhuijing's choice. Since it was her own choice, she can't be blamed for whatever situation she gets into in the future. She gave this opportunity, but the other party didn't want it. On the other side, Huayan pulled the director and asked him to cancel the opening song sung by Zhuijing. Even if the singer is not changed, the song has to be changed. Of course, the director disagreed until Zhuijing said that she accidentally saw it on a certain website. The song may not have been written by Kong In, and maybe it was copied from someone else's work. Once it is exposed, there will be some impact. After all, this drama will take half a year to shoot. Before that, Zhuijing will have a concert, and Tang Guo may take action. Then when this drama is broadcast, it may be seriously affected. When the director saw the evidence of Huayan's screenshot, he finally gritted his teeth and gave up the song. He didn't want to cause trouble for his work because of a plagiarized song. Nowadays, some netizens seem to have gone crazy. Once they caught hold of something, they would crazily slander it without any reason. After convincing the director, Huayan breathed a sigh of relief. If the director knew that there was a problem with the song and still used it, he might have left the set. Money breaching the contract. How could it be more important than a girlfriend? You brat, are you happy now? Hurry up and get lost. Don't worry, I won't use this song again. Isn't using this kind of song to tarnish my career? Huayan left happily. After leaving the set, he called Tang Guo and told her that the director didn't need that song anymore. Even though he was not in front of her, Tang Guo felt as if she saw a peacock spreading its tail at her, as if saying, wife, look, I'm so awesome. I've helped you get everything done. Zhuijing was well aware that the director had suddenly changed the song. He also knew that it was Huayan who had found out, so it was understandable for him to tell the director. Since the other party didn't want to make it public, he probably didn't want to get involved in this matter. Chapter 3748. Hence, the director asked Zhuijing to sing another song. Zhuijing was very cooperative. Huayan didn't stop her. It was just an opening song. If something really happened, she could change to another song at any time. There was no need to worry about any accidents. At this time, the system, which had been paying attention to Kong Un, discovered that Kong En had posted a new post saying that his new work was about to be serialized. He even announced the title of the work and released an episode for his fans to watch. The fans below the post were screaming and saying that they liked the style of the work. When Tang Guo saw the post, she raised her eyebrows slightly. When Yi Yuling saw the post, the corners of her lips curled up slightly. She was clearly a delicate and beautiful girl, but when she smiled like that, it was extremely creepy and scary. Ji Yu also saw the post and stared at it. Finally she said, she is indeed a plagiarist. Because this comic was published by Yi Yuling a few years ago, on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. So far, Tang Guo had told her that she planned to release a simplified Chinese version for her. At the same time, the copyright of the comic had been sold, and an animation would be released. When the time came, she would be able to watch it on the screen. Because the style of the comic was more niche, not many people paid attention to it. However, there were still some diehard fans. The main reason was that Tang Guo and Yi Yuling had serialized this work on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. Very few people in the mainland knew about it. Again, it was very niche. Kong En had already started serializing the comic, and Tang Guo didn't make any moves. She was already preparing to release a version of Yi Yuling's work in the mainland. After this, the animation version should be released. All the manuscripts had been prepared long ago. Tang Guo's actions were very fast. She immediately asked someone to upload Yi Yuling's comic called The Pedestrian. As a result, both sides were serialized. Of course, Yi Yuling's The Pedestrian was much more mature and perfect than Kong En's copy, whether it was the style, the content, or the details. After all, the current Yi Yuling was no longer the Yi Yuling of the past. This was the Yi Yuling who had returned. After about 2 weeks of serialization, someone finally found out about it. Kong En's fans went crazy. They immediately went to Yi Yuling's social media account to attack her. At the same time, the fans also spontaneously posted to fight against Yi Yuling. For a moment, the internet was in a mess. Everyone came for Kang Un. They thought that Kang Un was the plagiarist. Therefore, during this period, Yi Yuling received a lot of personal attacks. But Yi Yuling was no longer afraid. By then, she didn't know how Kang Un's response. She was really looking forward to it. So Sister Tang had been busy all this time just for this day? All these years of waiting had been worth it. Are you alright? She asked. Yi Yuling shook her head and wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes. It's okay. I'm just happy. Yuling, S. No wonder Big Sister Tang always urges me to draft the script whenever she's free. It's as if she wants to empty my brain. 2. Chapter 3749. Every time we meet, she asks me if I'm lazy. People who don't know might think that she's a black-hearted businessman who abuses child labor. If I didn't show off, I wouldn't have known that I'm so awesome. I can create so many works in a few years, and they're very popular on both sides. But I'm still not as good as you. Your works are very popular overseas. It's all because of Sister Tang's supervision that we're where we are today. Yes. A few days later, Tanggua's company received an email from Kang Un's comic company, asking her to deal with it as soon as possible. The comic Pedestrian, on Dream Builder's website listed the release date, indicating that the author named Yi Yuling plagiarized Kang Un's work on their website. Tanggua posted directly on Weibo that day, and only said one sentence. Yi Yuling from Dream Builder's website did not plagiarize. She spent countless days and nights to draw this work. Just this sentence made countless people attack Tanggua. They said that she, the website owner, was actually covering up a plagiarist. For a time, Tanggua was scolded badly. Some people even launched a boycott of Dream Builder's website. It was basically spontaneously organized by Kang Un's fans. In their opinion, this kind of platform that covered up plagiarism must give them a reasonable explanation. They couldn't let their benefactor be wronged. At this time, Kang Un also posted a screenshot of the time of the two serializations. It was clear that she hoped that Dream Builder's website could give her an explanation. She hoped that such a famous website would cherish its own feathers. The main reason why Kang Un didn't suspect Tanggua's website was that Tanggua was more low-key. Moreover, this website was also based on works. There were very few advertisements now. Only the initial publicity was relatively fierce. As early as a few years ago, it had a very good reputation among readers and formed a specific reader group. Therefore, in many places, you couldn't see the advertisements of Dream Builder's website. However, because Tanggua spent a lot of money on the Dream Building website, many mobile phones came with this software. Before her rebirth, Kang Un didn't know much about this at all. She also didn't know if there was a website like Dream Builder's website. She wasn't in this line of work before. If it weren't for the phone in her brain, she wouldn't have achieved such success. Moreover, the phone in her brain only had a search function. Whatever she wanted to search for, it would appear. If it weren't for the fact that the works of Ji Yu and the others had come out of the entertainment circle, and everyone knew about them, she would only remember a few of them. Counting the time, of course, she had to find the most suitable work to move. As soon as Kang Un posted his post, his fans automatically reposted it. At the same time, some internet celebrities who liked Kang Un's works also began to repost it. In their eyes, this was solid evidence. They could even ride on the popularity and gain some fans. Why not? At this time, Tanggua asked the company to prepare a lawyer's letter to the website of Kang Un's manga, informing them of the infringement. This lawyer's letter was even posted on the official account of the Dream Builder website. When the netizens saw this, they were so angry that they almost fainted. They all said that they had never seen a website as shameless as this. Everyone from top to bottom was extremely shameless. Not only did they infringe on someone else's copyright, they even sent him a lawyer's letter to give him a warning. The matter fermented for a day. Tanggua once again sent someone to talk to the other company about this matter, and asked them to immediately remove the infringing works from the shelves. The other party was particularly self-righteous, saying that it was the DreamWorks station that had infringed upon the copyright, and asking them not to pretend to be blind. Chapter 3750. The next day, Tangwa asked someone to send a set of comics to the other company. At the same time, Tangwa took photos and posted them on the official account of the website. When many netizens clicked on it and read all the works, they were completely stunned. The comic Pedestrian was a tragic and melancholic comic. The comment on it was that people who read it wanted to read it a second time, but didn't dare to. It wasn't that the comic was scary, but the more people read it, the more they felt a chill down their spine. They felt uncomfortable and helpless. The author of the comic was Yi Yuling. The serial was published 3 years ago. Seeing this, the passers-by who were originally scolding along with the fans all fell silent. Anger rose in their hearts, and they all turned their anger towards Kong En. Before Kong En could react, she realized that countless people were scolding her. So she's a plagiarist. I'm going to ask someone to check if Pedestrian is still sold. They've already published it. Does she really think that we don't go online? Doesn't she read the news on both sides of the river? Yes. Maybe she didn't have the inspiration for a while. After all, she wrote works like Small Alley and Spring Day. She has the ability. She didn't do it on purpose. Yes, she definitely didn't do it on purpose. Kong En's brainless fans really angered the netizens. Not only did she copy someone else's work, but she also refused to admit it. Could she clear her name by saying that she didn't do it on purpose? If she didn't have that published comic and couldn't prove her innocence, wouldn't she be unable to clear this stain for the rest of her life? Initially, Kong En had been waiting patiently for the website to help her deal with this matter after posting that post. Also, her group of loyal fans would definitely help her scold and remove the infringing works from the shelves. However, she received a call from the website editor. The first thing he said was, "Kong En, why did you copy someone else's work?" "Editor, I didn't plagiarize. I racked my brains to draw these. Is the dream building station framing me?" The company received a set of comic books today. It's published on both sides of the river. The comic is already finished. I looked at the time. It was serialized 3 years ago. You keep asking me if you drew it according to this comic. I looked at it, and there are indeed some details and plot that are a little different from the beginning. To be more precise, it was Kong En who couldn't compare to the other party. The other party's style was mature, while Kong En's style, how should he put it, simply couldn't compare. Kong En was dumbfounded when he heard this. 3 years ago, Yi Yuling's comic books were already published on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. So, was Yi Yuling's work first published there? Kong En couldn't believe it. Soon he received a lot of photos. It was just as the editor had said. Especially when she saw Yi Yuling's name, her face turned pale. The editor hurriedly asked her if she had plagiarized. Kong En did not say anything, which meant that she had admitted it. The other party has solid evidence. If you can't produce evidence before noon today that this work was published 3 years ago, we will take it off the shelves and apologize. The editor paused. You should also take some time off. With the current situation on the internet, Kong En could forget about continuing the series. Kong En was no longer in the mood to continue her manga. This matter was too unstable. She had actually failed. Chapter 3751. Kong En couldn't produce any evidence. Her fans were of no use at all. The more they tried to clear her name, the more it would arouse the disgust of passers-by. The main reason was that the evidence was right in front of them. There was nothing they could do. Especially when the website took Kong En's works off the shelves. Everyone understood why. Many of Kong En's fans had calmed down and started to leave. Although they liked her works very much, what she did this time disappointed them. However, there was no shortage of brainless fans everywhere. They wanted to clear Kong En's name, saying that Kong En knew her mistakes and would create the best works in the future. The brainless fans also said, En has always been very outstanding. This time, I believe that she didn't do it on purpose. She has created so many excellent works for us. This time, she just took the wrong path. She will correct herself and bring us even more wonderful works in the future. Kong En definitely didn't want to lose the fame she had accumulated over the years. Besides, there were many people who did this kind of thing, and they were still doing well. As long as the limelight was over, she would still make money. Therefore, Kong In planned to stand up again. She decided not to steal Yi Yuling's work. She had her eyes on another work, which was Ji Yu's work. Through the phone in her brain, she searched for all the works of the other party in her life, and planned to choose one that was popular. Whether it was Yi Yuling or Ji Yu, they were both talented, and had been famous for a long time. She believed that as long as she chose a good work, she would definitely be popular again. Netizens were forgetful. She earned her money and they talked about theirs. As long as there was no problem with her work, there would still be countless fans chasing after her. However, before she started to imitate, Kong In hesitated. The reason why she could imitate comics was because she used to study art. With some foundation, it was not a problem to imitate. As for the lines, of course, they were getting smoother and smoother. Others would only think that she had improved, and wouldn't suspect anything. For the sake of safety, Kong In decided to search the internet for Ji Yu's works. There wasn't any on the internet, but when she thought of Yi Yuling's pedestrian, she decided to ask people on both sides of the river to find out if Ji Yu existed. Not long after, she received a reply. Ji Yu was actually a famous comic writer on both sides of the river, and was very popular with young girls. In the past few years, she had published several comics. Hearing this, Kong In no longer dared to have any ideas about Ji Yu's works. She suspected that she had copied their works previously, causing them to create more works while they were in a difficult situation. The reason why they chose the two shores was probably because the two of them didn't have a market in the mainland, so they switched to the other side. Because of this incident, Kong In decided to quit the comics industry. The main reason was that she was afraid that if she moved another author's work, the same situation would happen again. If that happened, it would really be difficult to explain. After thinking it through, she posted a status with only one sentence. "Sorry, I'm announcing my retirement from the comics industry." This post put Kong In on the hot search list again. In an instant, her fans, who were already on Kong In's side, felt even more heartbroken. They all said that those people were forcing Kong In to do something like this. As for the passers-by, when they saw Kong In admit her mistakes so easily, they all felt that she had taken the wrong path because she couldn't think straight for a moment, so they forgave her a little. She didn't defend herself. She admitted her mistakes so easily, which means that she really didn't do it on purpose. Chapter 3752. That's right. Since she's already admitted her mistake, as long as she doesn't make any more mistakes in the future, it's fine. Actually, she's quite sincere. I like her attitude of leaving the comics industry. She's actually very talented. She just took the wrong path. Now that she's admitted her mistake with a good attitude, she's paid the price for her actions and left the industry. She got to where she is today step by step, so she's worthy of respect. After all, in today's society, there are many shameless people. Very few people can be as shameless as her. So I support her. If she has another outstanding original work in the future, I'll still choose to support her. Because Kong In was so straightforward, she attracted a wave of fans. However, there were also some people who couldn't tolerate sand in their eyes. Although she admitted her mistake with a good attitude, isn't this what she should do? She plagiarized someone else's work. Can she be completely forgiven just by admitting her mistake? In any case, I won't read her work. If she's really a good person, she wouldn't have plagiarized in the first place. She could have just admitted her mistake and be forgiven. The price of plagiarism is too small. This really hurts the hearts of the original creators. That's right. Don't forget what her previous post was. She was telling others to cherish their reputation. If not for the fact that her comic book was exposed, she would have made the accusation against others. Does she think that the comic was published a few years ago, was published on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, and only had physical copies? It's a niche and can't be found on the internet, so she can just plagiarize it? Under these comments, many people replied, asking them to be more tolerant, who didn't make mistakes in their life. As long as they made mistakes, it was good to be able to change. There were a lot of such comments. After Tanguy saw them, she just smiled and didn't ask further. Instead, the company's staff asked her if she should hire some ghostwriters. It was a little too easy for Kong Un to let the matter pass just like that. Tanguy shook her head. What's the point of hiring them? Can't you use the money to eat hot pot? What a waste. Company staff. That's a little true. The money to hire ghostwriters seems to be enough to buy a lot of hot pot. Hence they all asked, Boss, when are you treating us to hot pot? Let's go eat today, Tanguy replied. Kong Un's first battle. The first step was to destroy Kong Un's image in everyone's minds. However, she wouldn't continue to hit him, because Kong Un had already apologized and attracted a wave of fans. What's more, he had solidified his fans and abused his fans. If she continued to attack Kong Un, that group of idiots would attack her side, saying that they were going overboard, that they were not tolerant at all, and that they were forcing logic. It was so infuriating that it was meaningless. What she wanted to do was to make Kong Un unable to defend himself with every strike of the hammer. No matter how Kong Un's diehard fans tried to explain, it would only make people feel pale and powerless. This kind of whitewashing was fine once or twice, but if it happened too many times, it would easily arouse the disgust of passers-by. At that time, it would be a real blow to Kong Un. She had never thought of showing mercy to Kong Un, because Kong Un's jade hope could kill people. Tangu's assistant quickly took out her phone and said, Boss, I'll inform Brother Hua. He won't miss such an opportunity. Tanguy did not care. Almost everyone in her company had been bribed by Hua Yin. If there was any news, he would be informed. Especially when she treated him to a meal, Hua Yin was never absent. Of course, this was her tacit approval. Only the employees dared to do so. Chapter 3753. On Kong Un's side, seeing the netizens' reaction, she felt that she had made the right move. She could search for anything on her phone, not just comics. Actually, she regretted drawing comics. It was so time-consuming. She might as well do something else. Kong Un remembered that her Xianxia novel had been over for 3 months, and she hadn't told the readers when she would start a new book. Thus, she prepared to continue writing. Previously, it was a Xianxia novel. She wasn't sure if the original author would be like Yi Yuling and write the second and third books in advance. Thus, Kong Un gave up on White Sage's book and planned to find another one. She decided not to write Xianxia novels. She didn't think much of those novels in the female genre. It was mainly because with her character, writing romance in the female genre was too cheap. In the end, she thought of a very famous military novel. Kong Un recalled the other party's pen name. It seemed to be a veteran. Thus, she started to search and found the work written by a veteran. She looked at the time and found that there were still a few months before the veteran started writing. She planned to serialize this military novel. She had quit the comics industry, but she would definitely appear in front of everyone in the writing industry. Actually, what puzzled Kong Un was why no one had bought her Xianxia novel yet. Shouldn't a big company have bought it? It was said that the film rights of this work were sold for tens of millions. What Kong Un didn't know was that the film company that bought the film rights had been bought by Hua Yin 2 years ago. Hua Yin had written a lot of scripts over the years, and they were all stored on his private website. When the time was right, he planned to film his own script. Anyway, he didn't lack money. He could buy a company and play by himself to avoid anger. Of course, this suggestion was given to him by Tanguy. He felt that it was great to be able to play by himself and support his girlfriend. System like a tool man. At the moment, the company basically came to Dream Building Station to choose adaptations. Hua Yin definitely wouldn't let his girlfriend suffer a loss. The price would only be high, not low. Anyway, as long as his girlfriend was happy, it was fine. The boss of the company had become Hua Yin. Of course, it was impossible for him to buy the rights to Kong Un's Xianxia novel. Sometimes fate was just a hair's breadth away. Something that should have been popular would become less important because of a small mistake. Kong Un had been preparing for a while. First, he revealed in his fan group that he was planning to start a new book. She also revealed to her fans that her new book would not be a Xianxia genre. She wanted to change her style and write a military genre. Many fans already knew that her style was varied, But when they heard that she was going to write about the military, they were still shocked. After all, Kang En was still young. It was fine if he wrote heroic xianxia novels. After all, many girls also had xianxia dreams in their hearts. His writing might not necessarily be worse than a man's. But when it came to writing about military affairs, especially those who were good at it, he had not seen many women. After all, the majority of women were still more proficient in domestic affairs, sweet styles, or in sadistic relationships. The more general direction was to level up and fight monsters, but most of them would still have some feelings. However, because this person was Kang En, although they were surprised, they still looked forward to when Kang En would open the book. Kang En had been preparing for the launch of his new book for about half a month. On the first day, countless fans came to support him and give him gifts. Although there were still some people who came to cause trouble, saying that Kang En was a plagiarist who copied other people's comics, they were quickly banned. Chapter 3754. After all, that matter was in the comics industry. It wouldn't affect Kang En much if she stood on their side. Many people felt that Kang En was a talented girl. Perhaps she really didn't think it through, and went down the wrong path. Now that she had apologized, there was really no need to hold on to it. After all, who didn't make mistakes? Gradually, the book review section was occupied by fans. The fans found that Kang En's military content was surprisingly attractive. Even some military fans who had no feelings for Kang En had already started to become fans of her book. Then their impression of her changed greatly. Because the veteran's book was serialized in a magazine, it took up a large part of the magazine's space, but it was still relatively slow. However, 3 years had already been serialized for a long time. The veteran didn't care about that. The company signed him very loosely. Tang Gua had also told him that it was not suitable for serialization on the internet at the moment. She would tell him when the time came. The veteran didn't mind at all. Anyway, it was pretty good now. While working as a security guard, he wrote slowly. He didn't write fast to begin with. He really couldn't compare to those fast authors. She's really restless. She made a move on the veteran's book so quickly. Tang Gua shook her head and said to Hua Yan, "Brother Hua, do you want to guess who she'll make a move on next?" Hua Yan saw Tang Gua looking at him. He pointed at himself and said, "It can't be me, right?" "That's hard to say. Gua, do you have the ability to predict the future?" Hua Yan had long felt that Tang Gua seemed to know a little too much, but that wasn't important. After all, this person was his girlfriend and future wife. "I do. Do you believe me?" "I believe you," Hua Yan answered seriously. "Otherwise, how could you have arranged so many things in advance? Without you, would Jiyu and Yi Yuling have gotten back on their feet? You even exposed Kang En. Now Kang En has made a move on the veteran's book. If it weren't for you, the veteran wouldn't know what to do." Tang Gua thought to herself that if she hadn't interfered in this matter, after the veteran figured out the website and serialized the military on the website, it wouldn't be long before Kang En's fans went to the veteran's book to scold him. When the time came, there would be a series of battles, and the veterans would seal the books. He was a straightforward person. Because of this, he didn't hesitate to look for Kang En. This meant that he really didn't copy her, and that he was the one who wrote it word by word. But in the face of the evidence, the veteran had no way to defend himself. He couldn't find any evidence to prove that he was the creator of this work. Because of his persistence, he was seen as harassment. Kang En was annoyed and directly called the police, saying that Old Soldier X was harassing him. Because of this, the old soldier was even sent to the Public Security Bureau by his fans. He had lost all his face as a soldier. In the end, he could only go back and never mention anything about writing again. He spent his days as a security guard in a daze and never got married. If Kang En had not intervened, the veteran would have met his love and entered a happy marriage. That's why Tang Gua said she wouldn't show mercy to Kang En. Because of her selfishness and lust, she ruined the original owner's glorious life and took away Xiao Yu's life. Because of this, Yi Yuling went crazy, and the old soldier lived a mediocre life. Later on, there were other people who were harmed by Kang En. Anyone who was targeted by her work didn't have a good ending. Chapter 3755. These people would carry the title of plagiarists for the rest of their lives, and would never be able to clear their names. The veteran's work has been serialized in dream-building stories for more than 3 years, and he still has a lot of readers. Now that the internet is exploding, it's impossible for any of his readers not to go online or use their phones. It's only a matter of time before they find out about this. In my opinion, we don't need to do anything about this. We just need to wait for it to ferment. When the time comes, the effect will definitely be better than we imagined, Hua Yin suggested. Tangua nodded. I think so too. Hua Yin held her hand and kissed it. We're indeed a perfect match. We even think of the same thing. It seems like we're a match made in heaven. Zhuojing's concert is in 2 months. What are you going to do about Kong In plagiarizing your song? Let the veterans' matter ferment first. The internet is so advanced now, so it shouldn't take much time. The veterans' work is very popular, and many people have read it. It won't take long. Tangua already had a plan. Since she was going to attack Kong Un, she had to be careful and not give Kong In any time to react. When the veterans' matter was over, Kong In would really enter the music industry. At that time, there would be a lot to see. In the novel, the reason why Kong In became an outstanding actress was because of her identity as a lyricist and composer. As the saying goes, the pavilion closest to the water enjoys the moonlight first. When one reaches a certain status and has certain connections, it is very easy for them to receive guidance from veteran actors. Speaking of which, Kong In was smart even though she didn't work hard. After all, it wasn't easy for an actor to act well. As for Kong In's current serialization of the military, it had set off a storm among military fans. Especially when they knew that Kong In was a young girl who had written such a novel, the older military fans felt a little ashamed. They had lived half their lives, but they couldn't compare to a young girl. These people didn't lack money. They had spent a lot of money on Kong In just to serialize 50,000 words. Seeing that the work was so popular, Kong In felt that she had made the right choice. It was indeed a phenomenal work. It was only serialized for a few words, but it was already so popular. Especially this kind of readers, who didn't lack money, were especially willing to tip. Kong In was overjoyed, thinking that she could rely on this to make a comeback. In the future, she would simply write about the military. There seemed to be many books under the veteran's name. As long as she published it before the other party published it, there wouldn't be any problems. Kong In was once again blinded by his desire. Every day, he would move the contents of his phone and store them on his computer. In fact, she was still a little worried when she first started serializing the story. She was afraid that something might happen. The incident with Yi Yu's life was still a big blow. Who would have thought that the other party would have a physical body? To make of that it? Of it. Right now, Kong In was immersed in the glory of having a group of military fans praising her in her book reviews and giving her tips every day. System, keep floating. Let's see how long you can float. Chapter 3756. Bro, have you seen that one recently? Which one? Oh, it's that one. It's written by a woman. I can't believe that a woman's military writing can be so good. It seems that I have to let go of my previous prejudices. To be honest, it's so good. It's a slap in the face. Are you talking about the one written by Kong In? Yes, it's her. I'm reading it too. The military forum was full of discussions about this. The main reason was that Kong In's current serialization was not long. Many bookworms would not click on it when they saw it. Basically, they would only flip through it when it reached a certain number of words. If they liked it, they would keep it. However, paper could not contain fire. When the military serialization reached 100,000 words, a comment appeared at the bottom, pointing out that Kong In had plagiarized someone else's work. At first, the administrator thought that the comment was to find fault. However, as more and more such comments appeared, the administrator realized that something was wrong. He did not delete the comment. Instead, he followed it and found the forum. It turned out that someone in the military forum pointed out that Kong In's current serialization was a copy of someone else's work. The original author was serializing it in a magazine called Dream Building Miscellany. Each issue had about 10 pages, and it was serialized by the veteran's work. It was obvious how popular his work was. As more and more evidence appeared, the administrator went to the magazine hall to buy a copy. Only then did he realize that Kong In's work had been serialized for more than 3 years. Therefore, there was no need to explain who copied, who based on the degree of copying. The administrator was a real military fan. He immediately resigned as the administrator and ran away. After running away, he went to buy the magazine. The real author was here. He did not want to support Kong In, the plagiarist. The veteran's work had been serialized for 3 years. If he bought all the magazines, he would definitely be able to enjoy it. As for Kong In, that plagiarist, he could go to the side. He was not going to serve him. The discussion on the forum fermented quickly. Kong In's book review section had already fallen. Although this group of men was usually straightforward, when they were really angry, they were still very strong. Soon Kong In's battle was trending again. This time, the former administrator personally displayed the evidence for the netizens to see. It had been serialized for 3 years, and Kong In really had no way to argue this time. Kong In looked at everything on the phone and was about to go crazy. Could it be that she had changed too many things in the past, causing many things to happen in advance? Previously, she had even specially copied the veteran's online search. Of course, she didn't find anything, so she was relieved to serialize it. She had also sent someone to ask around on both sides of the river if there was a military writer named a veteran. She had calculated everything, but she did not expect that the veteran would not be serialized on the internet, nor would it be published on both sides of the Taiwan Strait. In the end, it was serialized in a domestic magazine for 3 years. Kong In, who knew the truth, was on the verge of breaking down. Now the website had already banned her book. The editor's profile picture was flashing non-stop. She didn't know what he was sending her. When the phone rang, Kong In saw the familiar name on the screen. It was her. She immediately hung up and turned off her phone. As for the forums and social media accounts, she didn't even dare to look at them. Needless to say, it was another group of keyboard warriors who were scolding her. Chapter 3757. Because the serialization period was relatively short, it was not time for the royalties to be paid yet. Therefore, Kong In did not receive the rewards from the fans. Kong In was very unhappy. It was fine if the website did not help her. The money was basically taken by the website and could not be returned to the readers. Therefore, she logged into her alternate account and went to the military forum to ask for a refund, saying that the website was cheating consumers. After doing all this, Kong In felt much better when she saw that everyone had gone to make a fuss. Therefore, Kong In decided not to touch it. Who knew what would happen after the serialization? Her account was quietly there, and she did not say a word, letting the netizens criticize her. She did not want to look at it at all. Actually, I suspect that someone cursed Kong In. She was originally a talented person. Why would she plagiarize other people's works again and again? I also feel that Kong In has been strange recently. Thinking about what happened before, I keep thinking that she was cursed. Of course, there were many who criticized Kong In. However, her die-hard fans were very strong, and those who were attacking Kong In were rendered speechless. Seeing this situation, Kong In felt that she could take advantage of the situation and use her alternate account to encourage the crowd, saying that she might really be cursed. Many people really believed such an excuse, especially her own brainless fans, who did not suspect at all. Kong In had 2 big fans of his own, and both of them were saying that something was wrong with her recently. This matter spread further and further. It was obvious that Kong In's persona had collapsed, but she was somehow cursed and bewitched to plagiarize other people's works. Some fans even guessed that it might be Kong In's competitors who did it. After all, Kong In used to be such a talented person. How could she plagiarize other people's works for no reason? Even some passers-by thought that this speculation was very credible after seeing the whole thing. This Kong In is quite impressive. Tangwa shook her head. It's obvious that you can't hide it, but you insist on saying that you're possessed and cursed. More importantly, the public believed her. Actually, isn't she such a person? System. It's all thanks to the host. Otherwise, the veterans would be in trouble. Is there any movement in the group? Tang Guo was especially worried about not being able to enter the group. That group of friends had accompanied her for so many years. If the group really disappeared, she would not be used to it. She had originally thought that this group would be able to accompany her safely for the rest of her life. She hadn't expected that she would be unable to enter the group. I saw it yesterday. It's still the same. I haven't seen it today. Let me have a look. Just as the system finished speaking, it suddenly spoke again. Dear host, there's movement. It seems that you can enter the group now. Hearing that she could enter the group, Tang Guo put down everything she was doing and hurriedly went in to check on the situation. Zian, what happened? Qi Xiao, I don't know. I'm so confused, Mo Yuntian. That scared me to death. I thought I would never be able to join the group. Margaret. Sob sob sob. I thought I was targeted by the god of creation. Oh my god, my heart is beating so fast that it's about to jump out of my body. Heavens, that was too scary. She was so scared that she cried. I haven't even met the school bell, and the group almost disappeared. Harold, god of creation, bless us. Alan. I was thinking that if the group really disappeared, I would have a duel with Harold to fulfill my life's wish. Chapter 3758. Harold. Alan, that's a dangerous thought. Piao Miao. Luckily, the group is still there. I was shocked too. Inhuan. That's right. We just came out of seclusion and this happened. It's killing us. Shangguan Yungu. I thought it was the tribulation. The group was destroyed by the tribulation. At that time, I was reflecting. If only I wasn't in a hurry to pass the tribulation, maybe the group would be fine. Emmanuel. It shouldn't be a problem with your tribulation. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know what's going on with the campus bell. Billy. Didn't you notice that our group is a little different? Look, the campus bell's name is flashing. It's very bright, and there's a kind of flowing light. Look at our group. There's no such light. Billy. Wait, the flowing light on the campus bell's name is also gone. Emmanuel. I also noticed something. We have profile pictures, but it seems to be the default profile picture. Can we change it? Emmanuel. I've changed my profile picture. Don't I look very handsome? Ziyun. Damn. Emmanuel, you're a golden-haired monster with green eyes. Do you have demon blood? At this time, Billy had also changed his profile picture. Like Emmanuel, he changed it to the one he thought was the most handsome. It was the one in the military uniform. Mo Yuntian. Then Billy must be a red-haired monster. Billy. Emmanuel. Of course, Mo Yuntian and Zian quickly realized that it was because of their race. Speaking of which, they could send pictures in the group, but they had to have that function. For example, in the interstellar world, there must be a function to send pictures. In the modern world, there was also such a function, but in the Xinxia world and the magic world, there was no such function. But now they realized that there were many more functions in the group. They could send pictures. Margaret. Everyone, do you think my profile picture looks good? I just realized that we can take pictures in the group. As long as you control it with your thoughts, you can take pictures of anywhere you want. It's very convenient. Just now, I purposely changed into my most gorgeous little dress, wore my most beautiful jewelry, and held my most powerful magic staff. It's perfect. Margaret had a Western face with deep facial features, but she had a head of long black curly hair, which was rare. Coupled with her noble, gorgeous and fashionable dress, she was indeed very beautiful. Even if the aesthetic standards of each world were different, they all felt that Margaret was indeed beautiful. Following that, Ziyan also changed his profile picture to one that was dressed in white and had an ethereal aura. Qi Xiao also took a more handsome angle for himself. He was leaning against a furnace and changed his profile picture to his own. Mo Yuntian was more serious. Like an old cadre, he took a picture of himself meditating. His expression was serious, and he looked like someone who was taking a picture for the first time. After this profile picture was changed, the people in the group burst into laughter. Mo Yuntian. It's just a profile picture. Why don't we all know each other? Shangguan Yungu, as expected of my master. After flattering him, Shangguan Yungu also took a picture of himself. He stepped on a flying sword and flew into the sky. Qi Xiao. Inexplicably Chinibu. Zian. I'm being laughed at. Mo Yuntian. Not bad. The posture of stepping on the flying sword is very standard, as expected of my disciple. Chapter 3759. Margaret. I didn't expect you guys to be so good-looking. Then Silver Hoop changed his profile picture. He was wearing a Taoist robe that was neither new nor old. His hair was wild and unruly. He looked a bit weathered and messy. As for Piao Miao, of course, she had taken a picture of herself. She looked like a fairy at first glance. Alan. Harold, why haven't you changed your profile picture? Harold. Alan, why haven't you changed it? Alan, why don't we change it together? Harold. Okay, let's do it together. Tangwa didn't say anything. She was very happy to see her friends playing with the new function in the group. The fact that the group didn't disappear was a surprise to her. Dear host, this group might be like me. It's a wild one, but it doesn't have consciousness. However, it can absorb energy by itself. It should be leveling up. It's possible that it will happen again in the future. So don't worry. The system was a little happy. This wild one didn't have consciousness and was so stupid. Okay, I got it. At this time, Harold and Alan's profile pictures were changed. Everyone looked at it and burst out laughing. Harold's profile picture was a guy holding a giant sword crawling out of a mud pit. Alan's profile picture was a skinny guy wearing a tattered black robe crawling out of the pit. Harold, why do you have that? Alan, the hatred between us has increased. Alan. Then Harold, tell me, why do you have that? Harold. A long time ago, a magic crystal ball accidentally recorded it. Alan. Oh, a long time ago, I accidentally recorded it with a memory stone. Harold. No matter what, in the name of the God of creation, the hatred between us can't be resolved. Alan. Harold, I promise in the name of the God of creation that we will always be enemies. This conflict can't be resolved. Through the conversation between the two of them, everyone had already understood. The two of them must have changed each other's most embarrassing pictures as their profile pictures. Tangwa carefully observed the interface of the group. She found that not only could she change her profile picture, she could also send voice and video calls. She clicked on the voice message location and sent a voice message. Is everyone okay? Everyone in the group was self-taught. They opened Tangwa's voice message and were very happy to hear Tangwa's voice. Suddenly, there were many voice messages in the group. They had been playing with this new thing for a long time. Margaret, I'm Margaret. Everyone, can you understand me? Ziyun. I heard it, Margaret. Hey, why do you speak the same language as us? Aren't we a different race? Margaret. Well, I don't know. Logically speaking, we shouldn't be able to speak the same language. But you can understand the words we send. This should be because of the group. Qi Xiao Chao's. Or we wouldn't understand the different languages as from the beginning. Emmanuel. It should be the group that acts as a communication medium between us. It automatically transforms the words we say, and the words we send out into words that we can understand. Mo Yuntian. I agree with that. No matter what, it's fine as long as there are no problems with communication. Chapter 3760. Campus Bell. You can also video call. You can try this function when you have time. I see that there are quite a lot of new functions in the group. You can explore them when you have time. The change in the group upgrade made everyone forget the previous situation where they couldn't enter. When the voice message was almost done, they asked what was going on. Tangwa followed the system's instructions and said that the group was upgrading. When everyone thought of the new functions in the group, all their previous worries disappeared. Tangwa briefly told the story of this world to them, then left the group to do her work. After all, she still had a lot of things to do at this time, and didn't have time to chat with them. These new functions in the group were enough for them to play for a while. After Tangwa left the group, almost half an hour had passed outside. Fortunately, she was in her own home, otherwise, it would easily attract other people's attention. Because of her hype, Kong In had all kinds of alt accounts. There were quite a lot of brainless fans who were especially concerned about her situation now. Therefore, countless brainless fans began to sympathize with Kong In and helped her attack those who hurt her. But just as they started, Kong In quickly posted a long text to stop her fans from attacking people. This time, she readily admitted her mistake and promised that she wouldn't do it again. She also said that if she made such a mistake again one day, she hoped that someone would help her correct it. After reading this article, many people wondered if Kong In was suffering from a mental or psychological illness. Because of the great pressure of creating and the merciless words of the netizens, Kong In herself didn't realize that she had plagiarized other people's works. Therefore, many people suggested that Kong In should see a doctor. This time, Kong In's persona as a patient had been established. Some people even began to analyze on the internet that Kong In might have a mental illness, and mistakenly thought that some of the works were her own. So she unknowingly copied the works. I'm convinced by this whitewashing. It's better than the entertainment industries. Hua Yin held his forehead speechlessly. It's a pity that she didn't become a ghostwriter. Look, now that Kong In had done this, some passers-by stopped criticizing her. After all, if she was really a mental patient who copied the works, then it made sense that she would do it openly and not hesitate to damage her reputation. When Ji Yu and Yi Yuling heard about this, they came to Tanghua. Both of them didn't look good. They had never seen such a shameless person like Kong In. The veteran also received messages from readers and a call from the company about someone copying his work. At present, Tanghua planned to talk to the veteran about other things, so she invited him to the company. He should be on his way. Sister Tang. Sister Guogua. She's so shameless. Yi Yuling and Ji Yu said in unison. They were really unwilling to let Kong In get away with it. Are those netizens really blind? Don't worry, whether she is mentally ill or not. It doesn't affect what we are going to do next. Tanghua was still calm. Even if she is mentally ill, copying other people's works is still copying. Kong In did all this because he couldn't bear to part with his name and the support of his fans. Chapter 3761. However, if such scandals were to continue, it would not go according to her wishes. Even if she was mentally ill, no one dared to scold her too harshly. After all, the world always sympathized with the weak. However, Kong In's goal would not be achieved. Tanghua knew what Kong In wanted the most. She wanted money, fame, and status. However, the talent and ability to obtain these things did not belong to her. Using mental illness as an excuse would not achieve her goal. However, many years later, many people would think of Kong In and say, "Oh, is it the Kong In who is mentally ill and always treats other people's works as her own?" Would Kong In be able to accept such an outcome? Besides, there would be a day when a lie would be exposed. Were there really so many people who could not see clearly? Netizens were muddle-headed, but at the same time, netizens were also the most meticulous. Sometimes, even the slightest clue could be dug out and the truth could be found. You can focus on your work. Now the company will start to fully develop your work. You just have to wait for the autograph, the fan meeting, and the money to count. When he heard that he could count money, the eyes under his neat bangs lit up for a moment. White Saint, your work can start to be serialized on the internet. At the same time, the company will fully help you develop derivative works. Your work has a good plot, and the characters are full of character. Hua Ge has already read it carefully. He plans to buy the TV and movie rights and prepare to make a TV series. White Saint was overjoyed when he heard this. He really did not expect that he would have such a day. Thank you, Sister Tang. Thank you, Hua Ge. Go back and prepare. You may be busy later. You must be there when the script is adapted. Hua Yin said that the essence of the script would not be lost if the original author participated in the script. He did not want any adaptation to destroy the best of the original owner. You don't have to worry about the price. You won't lose out. White Saint was not worried about this at all. As long as Hua Ge came to the website to buy the copyright, he would only give more and not less. He would definitely not let Sister Tang's creator suffer a loss. After sending this group of people away, 2 days later, Tang Gua met the veteran. The veteran was actually not old. He was in his 30s and was about 1.7 meters tall. He was strong and looked honest. This time, Tang Gua and the veteran signed a contract for a derivative work. The old soldier was a very straightforward and honest person. If he really met an unscrupulous merchant, he might be eaten until not even his bones were left. I trust you, Boss Tang. If it weren't for the dream building station, I might not have been able to fulfill my dream in my lifetime. Now that I've obtained so much, it's already a pleasant surprise. Anyone would be happy to have their work recognized and receive corresponding benefits. Soon it was June. It was Zhuojing's concert. Kong'an was a loyal fan of Zhuojing, and she also remembered that she had such a bargaining chip. A long time ago, she had received the concert tickets from Zhuojing's company. With such a good opportunity, Kong'an naturally wanted to go to the concert. Zhuojing and Lu Quan both felt that the private website's data had been cleared, and there shouldn't be any problems. Zhuojing had been very popular in the past few years. Kong'an glanced at the back and saw that there were no empty seats. It was said that the highest price of tickets for Zhuojing's concert was 10,000 yuan. Zhuojing was preparing nervously, and Kong'an was also looking at the stage excitedly. After all, Zhuojing had always been her idol, whether it was before or after her rebirth. Chapter 3762. It wasn't Zhuojing's first concert, but the one in June was the one he was most nervous about. At the same time, it was also the grandest, biggest, and most special one. There was no way he could ignore the previous incident. Once the concert was cancelled, it would have a huge impact on him. It could be the biggest obstacle to his advancement in the industry. How is it? Will it work? Lu Quan was a little worried and said in a low voice, "There hasn't been any news on the internet yet. As long as the concert goes on, it will be over in a while." "Yeah, it's fine." Zhuojing calmed himself down. "Thank you for your help. Your business is my business. There's nothing to worry about." Lu Quan's voice was very low. Even though there was no one else in the dressing room, he still spoke in a voice that only the two of them could hear. "Recently, I've been really worried. As long as nothing happens during the concert, the rest of the things will be easy to solve." In fact, what they were most afraid of was not singing a plagiarized song. As long as they said that they didn't know the song was plagiarized and apologized immediately, it wouldn't be hard to solve the problem. Especially the things on the private website. The best way to solve it was not to speak up for Kong'an. Of course, they didn't want to step on him. They just needed to apologize and say it was a team mistake. Then, they would get the internet water army to influence the fans, and this incident would have nothing to do with Zhuojing. As long as it wasn't a crime, as long as the incident went on the internet, and the person involved apologized sincerely, there would be a lot of forgiveness from the netizens. At this time, if there were still people scolding them, the netizens would stand up for them. Lu Quan and Zhuojing were afraid that the concert would be cancelled out of the blue, and it would be a blow to his career. Zhuojing was currently a popular singer. If he made any noise, it would easily attract a lot of attention. When the time came, a lot of people would investigate this issue, and it would be easy for things to go wrong. Not only would his reputation be damaged, but he would also face the loss of a lot of money. From the beginning, Lu Quan had already planned it out. Rather than canceling the concert, it was better to continue and pretend that they didn't know about it. As long as there was no trouble during the concert, even if someone revealed that there was a problem with the song, they wouldn't know and many people would think that they were unlucky. After thinking about it, Lu Quan thought that after the concert, Zhuojing would still have to sing Kong'an's song. Firstly, Kong'an's songs were indeed very popular. If they suddenly changed songs, they wouldn't be able to find a suitable person to write a song for Zhuojing's time. After all, Zhuojing was already a popular singer. Once she bought some ugly and mediocre songs, it would be easy for her to be mocked and lose her fans. Secondly, there was a saying that 300 taels of 300 taels of silver. If Zhuojing suddenly sang someone else's song, people would find it strange. Zhuojing had been working with Kong in all these years, and had never sung anyone else's songs. Then what was the reason that made Zhuo Jing give up on Kong In, the genius composer and lyricist? If the netizens is as the netizens will, Zhuo Jing, who knows what kind of it? Chapter 3763. If he continued to work with Kong Un, and waited for the truth to be exposed, Zhuo Jing would be as innocent as she could be. As long as he did it properly, he was sure that Zhuo Jing would not be affected. During this time, he was already preparing to find a good lyricist and composer to prepare for this matter. In the future, he would also sing other people's songs appropriately. After all, Kong Un had a chance of exploding. If the truth really spread, they might choose to remove all of Zhuo Jing's songs from the shelves. If the netizens were able to find the original writer, they would talk to him. If he was willing to work with them again, they would not remove the songs from the shelves and pay the copyright fees. If the original writer was not willing, he would remove the songs from the shelves. This would definitely make Zhuo Jing's fans feel even more sorry for her. After this series of events, it would be time for Zhuo Jing to release a new song. Not only did he have to find a good lyricist and composer, Zhuo Jing would also start to prepare her own songs and slowly polish them. When the time came, it would bring a big surprise to her fans. When that time came, Zhuo Jing's singing career would reach a new peak. As for what happened to Kong In, it had nothing to do with them anymore. They were all victims. It's about to start, Lu Quan reminded her. Seeing that Zhuo Jing had calmed down, he said, "Go ahead. The internet is still calm, and there won't be any problems. Go ahead and show your new song to your fans. They have been waiting for a long time." When Zhuo Jing appeared on the stage and greeted her fans, the entire venue was in an uproar. The fans were so excited to see their idol that they waved the light sticks in their hands. Kong In was the same. Before her rebirth, she had always been a diehard fan of Zhuo Jing. How diehard was she? If anyone said anything bad about Zhuo Jing, she would reason with them for a long time. Before her rebirth, she had to save up a lot of money to go to Zhuo Jing's concert to see her idol. Kong In's dream was to sit in the best seat at Zhuo Jing's concert one day. If she could take a photo with her, hug her and shake her hand, it would be even better. This was also why, after her rebirth, when she found out that she had obtained a phone that could search for any information, the first thing that came to her mind was to plagiarize Tang Guo's songs. Tang Guo had always been Zhuo Jing's collaborator. Zhuo Jing could bring out the best of her songs. Therefore, she had never considered anyone else. Now half of her dream had come true. She and Zhuo Jing had worked together for so many years, but they had never seen each other up close. She hoped that she could become stronger and stand at a higher position, so that she could look him in the eye and speak. If there hadn't been so many accidents in the past, it wouldn't have taken long for her to realize that dream. Thinking of those terrible things, Kong In didn't feel very happy. But when Zhuo Jing started to sing, she cheered again. Kong In was a little tired after waving the light stick in his hand. He planned to sit down and rest for a while. At this moment, she noticed a beautiful girl sitting next to her. This girl was different from the other fans. The other fans, including her, were especially passionate. They were excited because of Zhuo Jing's voice. When they could make a sound, they shouted with all their might. It was as if they were waiting for their idol to be able to distinguish their own voice from the thousands of other voices. Chapter 3764. The girl beside him was very quiet. She only stared at the stage with a pair of very focused eyes. She also looked more serious. However, because of her cute outfit and her round and cute face, no one would think that she was an unapproachable person. Kong In only glanced at such a strange person and didn't pay much attention to her. In this world, there were all kinds of strange people. However, she couldn't understand why someone would spend so much money to buy a seat only to stare at the stage in a daze. They didn't seem like Zhuo Jing's fans at all. "Miss, actually, Zhuo Jing is really not bad. We definitely won't lose out if we invite him to endorse for us." Beside this quiet girl sat a young man. "Besides, don't you like to listen to his songs? Miss, actually, if you like to chase celebrities, just tell us. We won't find it strange or laugh at you. After all, who didn't go crazy a few times when they were young?" Yu Meng retracted her gaze, and turned to look at the young man beside her. She sized him up carefully and then said, "You mean you're very old?" A certain assistant. He didn't think he was old. He was in his prime, 25 or 26 years old. He should be a young man. Also, I'm not his fan. A trace of disdain appeared on Yu Meng's lips. I'm not interested in chasing celebrities. A certain assistant. Then he understood. Miss should be Zhuo Jing's fan. Then Miss came here this time mainly to listen to songs? By the way, Miss, what do you think? Among the popular singers now, Zhuo Jing is definitely like the sun in the sky. Not only are his songs good, but they're also catchy. He has a lot of fans, and they're all very loyal. He's also a clean person. I've asked around. In private, he's very polite to people. He doesn't do one thing in front of people, and another behind people's backs. If we invite him to endorse, we'll definitely be able to launch our new product very quickly. Miss, we're making lipstick. Zhuo Jing sings well, and is a handsome guy. All the female fans are our customers. A certain assistant muttered softly. It's really not a loss. However, he just didn't understand why Miss stopped him when all the higher-ups agreed, and said that this matter still needed to be discussed. Time was tight. If they couldn't find a suitable person to endorse, it would delay the launch of the product. He's not suitable. Although the song is nice, we can't let him endorse any of our company's products. There was a dream looking at the man on the stage, who was performing perfectly. There was not a single extra emotion in his eyes. I like this lipstick very much. I can't let him ruin it. She'll lower your voice. This is someone else's territory, miss. They're all very serious. Can you hear them? The assistant was still puzzled, and could not help but shake his head. He didn't know that Yu Meng, who was sitting beside him, was currently recalling the scene from a few years ago. She thought of how Tang Gua had sold the house to her without hesitation. She wondered what the other party was doing. She had been listening to Zhuo Jing's songs, because the style of these songs was exactly the same as Tang Gua's. However, the signature was Kong Un. She was puzzled. Of course, she just didn't understand. She didn't have the habit of checking other people's privacy. She was only paying attention to all this because Zhuo Jing was too popular. Her voice would always enter her ears from time to time, so it was impossible not to notice. Chapter 3765. When the concert was halfway through, a post started spreading on the internet without anyone noticing. When the netizens saw this post, they were subconsciously attracted by the title. The main reason was that the title of the post contained Zhuo Jing's name. People couldn't help but click on it. The title of this post was, "Don't miss this. Everyone eat a big melon." Zhuo Jing's songs were all plagiarized. This post quickly became a hot topic. People always said that the netizens were muddle-headed, but they were also very smart. Once there was such a shocking news, they would save it and slowly look at it. In the time it took to sing a song, the matter of Zhuo Jing singing plagiarized songs had already become a hot topic. Moreover, there was also the topic of Zhuo Jing's concert. Lu Quan had considered this matter, but the only thing he didn't consider was that the person who posted this post might not be a person, but a system with advanced abilities. After Zhuo Jing's team discovered this matter, they hurriedly spent money to remove the hot topic. Now it was related to the concert. The concert hadn't ended yet, and such a big issue had happened. Even if Zhuo Jing was innocent, the impact would not be small. Tomorrow, it would definitely be a group joke. The main reason was that this matter was exposed at this time, which made Lu Quan feel very uneasy. If it wasn't deliberately targeted, how could there be such a coincidence? Why hasn't the hot topic been removed? Is there not enough money? Lu Quan saw that the hot topic was getting higher and higher. He was so anxious that he was sweating profusely. He was a little panicked. In the past, this kind of matter could be resolved almost immediately once it was discovered. Brother Lu, I'm still asking. Hurry up. We can't make any mistakes at this time. Even though he had expected this, Lu Quan still didn't expect this matter to be completely out of his control. He stared as the hot topic ranking got higher and higher. Finally, it climbed to the first place, and there was no sign of it going down. He watched as the entire internet was talking about this matter. He only felt a sense of helplessness. Lu Quan calmed down very quickly. He wondered if Zhuo Jing's opponent wanted to use this matter to bring down Zhuo Jing and spend money on that post. Hence, he was prepared to spend money on it. Soon he received a reply. Brother Lu, they're not collecting money anymore. When Lu Quan heard this, his face turned pale. Increase the amount. Brother Lu, they said that no matter how much money we have, it can't be removed. Lu Quan clenched his fists as his mind raced. Who was it that wanted to harm Zhuo Jing? At this juncture, didn't he want to kill Zhuo Jing? They shouldn't have offended anyone, right? How is it? Have you found a bug? The technical side is investigating it. Hurry up and ask them to fix it. If they can't fix it within half an hour, all of their bonuses will be deducted. Do you know how much money this bug has cost our company? Alright, I'll rush him right away. Half an hour later, the trending topic was still there. Countless technicians were sweating profusely. For the first time, they felt that they were not technicians. In this line of work, they had never encountered such a difficult bug. They could not even find it. Tongzi, how was the concert? Host, don't worry. I've already reminded the fans to watch a good show today. The system was especially proud. As long as it was a world with the internet, it could move freely. No one was its opponent. They can't remove the trending topic now. The only way is to shut down the server. However, he's not the only platform on the internet. Chapter 3766. If this one doesn't work, let's change to another one. Will they not want the traffic we give them? Moreover, I'm guessing that they won't close it at all. They will probably give a vague answer to Zhuo Jing's team and tell them that someone is already targeting them and that they don't have enough money. The more the system spoke, the prouder it became. They can't possibly say that there's a bug in their system and that the technicians can't solve it, right? That's not destroying their own jobs. When they encounter such a thing, who will be at ease to work with them? They were definitely going to suffer in silence. Anyway, their image is that they can do things as long as they have money. You're getting better and better. No matter how good you are, I'm still your system. I'm especially happy to help you. Okay, let's wait now. Zhuo Jing's team hired a hacker to record the traces of my private website. Have you saved it? I'll take care of it. Host, don't worry. The system was very proud now because it was finally a useful system. Unlike 111, that lying dog, who didn't know anything and only had an official identity number. If it hadn't met a good host, would it have become an excellent system every year? Without host, Brother Wild was nothing. Host Brother Wild, Tang Kuei, really suffered a huge loss to meet a bootlicker like 111. It was too pitiful. Tongzi, watch the movements of Zhuo Jing's team. If there's a problem, act according to the situation. The biggest problem facing Zhuo Jing now was that there was no way to remove the trending topic. Zhuo Jing was still holding a concert. At the same time, many of the fans present had already seen the news. This kind of important news, as long as one person saw it, then the surrounding people could see it. In the end, everyone present would know. Even if the fans present were all Zhuo Jing's fans, they had to be divided into song fans, which was passerby fans, rational fans, brainless fans, crazy fans. Every kind of fan had a different reaction to this matter. When most of the fans present saw this trending post, they clicked on it and compared the time when the original author released the song and Zhuo Jing released the song. Of course, they also went to Kong Un's side to check the records. They were all later than the original author. A portion of the fans couldn't accept this on the spot, especially the fans who hated copying other people's works. Even if they didn't know the truth, they couldn't ask themselves to continue listening. Of course, they were also rational and left on the spot. If they listened to a sentence here, they would think that it was a humiliation to the original author. There were also some people who were more excited. They shouted from below, as if they wanted to tell Zhuo Jing about it. Zhuo Jing's fans, who were a little more rational, were indeed surprised by this matter. However, they still hadn't figured out the situation. The song was written by Kong En, so they definitely couldn't blame Zhuo Jing for this matter. Hence, they all advised the people around them to calm down. However, Zhuo Jing's diehard fans could not stand those who doubted her. so they started to scold each other. The scene instantly became chaotic, and Zhuojing also noticed the situation. The staff saw that there was no way to hide the matter, so they could only stop it. They hurriedly came up and took Zhuojing away. They were afraid that some crazy people would attack Zhuojing in a while. Everyone was quickly evacuated. Zhuojing also spoke through the microphone, saying that he would give everyone an explanation as soon as possible. Things happened too quickly, completely out of their expectations. Their preparations were completely useless. The hot search hasn't been removed. Maybe someone wants to mess with you and spent a lot of money, Lu Quan and Zhuojing said. Chapter 3767. Zhuojing was a little tired. What do we do now? Let's see how it goes first. The studio has already posted something. Let's wait for a while. We'll give them a reasonable explanation. Lu Quan was also helpless. Since the matter has already been exposed, there's nothing we can do. But we can't let our opponents get what they want. It's about time. We should seriously apologize to the fans and the original composer. Okay. Lu Quan was still a little uneasy. Of course, the loss this time was huge. Of course, if the follow-up was handled well, Zhuojing could still win a wave of fans and gain the favor of passers-by by apologizing, showing weakness, and acting pitiful. However, the loss in terms of profits was not small at all. He didn't know who Zhuojing had offended to make him pay such a big price. As for Kong In, she was paying attention to Zhuojing's singing and didn't look at her phone at all. When the incident happened, she was evacuated by the staff. Only now did she see such a big thing on the internet. After reading all the posts, Kong In's face was as pale as paper. How could it be? Could it be the same situation as before? Because Tang Guo was in the plagiarism scandal, she was attacked and hid in secret. After suffering a loss, she recorded those songs on the internet. Looking at the solid evidence on the posts, Kong In quickly opened the websites where the songs were stored. There were several private websites, both domestic and foreign. At this moment, Kong In's legs were completely weak. She stumbled back, no longer caring about how her idol, Zhuojing, was doing. She only knew that one of her proudest chips was gone. Why did it turn out like this? Why did those works appear in advance? Kong In hated that phone a little. Since it had bound her, why didn't it tell her that this would happen? Just like the veteran's book, it should have been a long time before it appeared. She had tried to pick the songs written by Tang Guo that were about 10 years old. In the end, it appeared so early. Kong In looked at the time on the private website, and her face turned ugly. The earliest time was 3 years ago. In other words, not long after that incident, Tang Guo was already writing songs. Mrs. So Wise. The assistant followed behind Dream and wiped the sweat on his forehead. Mrs. So Wise. Dream glanced at him indifferently. Let's go. Learn more in the future. Yes. Although Miss is younger than me, she's smarter than me. The assistant praised. Zhuojing really couldn't be used. The original creator was someone that Zhuojing had worked with before. In that case, the other party must have been wronged in the incident a few years ago, right? Regardless of whether Zhuojing knew it or not, he already had a black mark. Currently, someone was stirring up trouble. Zhuojing was no longer suitable to endorse their company's products. In order to divert attention, Zhuojing's team hired fake reviewers to gradually shift the topic to Kong In. Originally, it was all Kong In's fault for plagiarizing someone else's work. They were just unlucky to have chosen Kong In. Chapter 3768. Tang Guo didn't add fuel to the fire. She was happy to see Zhuojing's team push Kong In's matter out. Such a cyber attack wasn't cruel at all to someone like Kong In. Guo is Zhuojing innocent just like that? Originally, Hua Yin felt that Zhuojing was just a passerby. After all, he wasn't familiar with her and didn't know whether she was good or bad. But after Zhuojing's team hired someone to hack his girlfriend's private website last time, the hatred between him and Zhuojing grew. If his girlfriend was really an ordinary person, and her private website was hacked, she might not be able to clear her name for the rest of her life. If his girlfriend wasn't capable, powerful, and strong, would she end up like Yi Yuling? How many people would be able to accept the fact that their hard work had been stolen for no reason, and that they had been framed. So he was especially unhappy to see Zhuojing innocent now. Why don't I expose that Zhuojing's team actually knew that Kang En's work was plagiarized? But they continued for their own interests and didn't care about the original creator at all. Tang Gua turned around and couldn't help but push Hua Yan's head hard. Did your IQ drop because you're in a relationship? If you say this without any evidence, won't you be scolded to death by Zhuojing's fans? When the time comes, people will deny it and accuse you of hitting someone when they're down. Let's see how you can clear your name. Don't worry, I have arrangements for this matter. Don't worry about it. First it was Kang En, then it was Zhuojing's team. No one can escape, Tang Gua said. At least, Zhuojing was the first to know about this matter. She wanted to expose it. She didn't care what the netizens thought. Yeah, from the first time I saw Guogua my genius brain always crashed. I'm so proud of my girlfriend. Hua Yan didn't mind at all that his IQ had dropped. It was good to have no IQ in front of his girlfriend. Wasn't there a saying that fools have fools' luck? Do you know why I believe you? Actually, I'm not such a careless person. But I just believe what you say. I can't help but believe it. I have to believe it even if you beat me to death. The more Hua Yan spoke, the more frivolous he became. However, his words were still very serious. In the past, I was also curious as to why I didn't have any intelligence. I believed everything you said. Later, I understood what was going on. Hua Yan saw the curious look on Tang Gua's face and whispered into her ear. God must know how to use this method to make you my girlfriend. If I was smarter and more rational, I definitely wouldn't have believed you, and I might have missed you. As soon as she finished speaking, Tang Gua began to clap. Screenwriter Hua Yan, your skills have improved again. I can't believe you came up with such a reason. I'm telling the truth. It must be because God saw that I'm not young anymore and didn't have a girlfriend. He thought that it was because I was too smart. Only by adjusting my IQ could I meet you. System, another bunch of dogs died. Young couples these days are especially cruel. After reading the whole story, I really hate Kang En. What genius girl. So it's all copied from others. The comics, the lyrics, and the music are all copied from others. Kang En is so disgusting. She has been copying other people's works. Brainless fan. Well, she's just sick. She has a mental problem. So she mistakenly regards other people's works as her own. Chapter 3769. Get lost, brainless fan. Do you think we're blind or have cerebral palsy? I actually believed such a lousy excuse back then. Look at how many things she has stolen over the years. Kang En looked at the scolding on the internet and felt only anger. Everything that she had worked so hard to get was now gone. Especially when she would receive all sorts of harassment calls every now and then. She could only change her phone number. Because she liked to be in the limelight in the past, she would be recognized when she went out. The way passers-by pointed at her made her feel very uncomfortable. In the end, she rarely went out unless it was necessary, and decided to wait for this storm to blow over. On the other hand, when the matter was about to blow up, Zhuojing's team apologized, saying that they did not know about this at first, and did not expect the truth to be like this. In this apology letter, they first admitted that they had neglected their work and caused the original composer to suffer. Regarding this, the majority of the netizens would only think that Zhuojing's team bought the songs and were innocent. Who would have thought that the other party was a powerful plagiarist? Therefore, they did not think that they had done anything wrong. Secondly, Zhuojing apologized to the original composer. However, Tang Gua did not say anything and did not respond. She was no longer going back to that industry. Therefore, Zhuojing's team had no choice but to take all the songs off the shelves. Tang Gua felt that these songs should have been taken off the shelves in the first place. She did not respond because she did not intend to let Zhuojing continue to have the rights to the songs. In order to clear their name, Zhuojing's team could only bear the pain. They had to cut off this piece of meat even if they did not want to. They had to show it to their fans. At this time, Tang Gua's silence was the best response. There were also people online who felt sorry for her. Thinking that she did not want to talk about this matter, because she had been dealt a blow. When Zhuo Jing's team saw that the limelight was in their favor, they slowly relaxed. Lu Quan thought about it, and did not seem to have done anything wrong, so he was relieved. Kang En had been banned from the lyricist and composer circles, the comics circle, and the entertainment circle. The main reason was that her behavior was too bad, and no one wanted to get into trouble. Even if they could not completely ban her, they had to show an attitude on the surface. Many of Kang En's fans had left. Many of them had become her haters, and some of them were die-hard fans who refused to admit their mistakes. They attacked her on the internet every day, and Kang En had no choice but to delete her account. Kang En, who stayed at home, was still unwilling to accept this. He had such exceptional resources, so why was he doing so poorly? Since she couldn't write comics, write lyrics, or compose music, then she could just become a screenwriter, right? She chose a work that was pushed back a few years. It wasn't a big hit, but it still had a good reputation. He planned to submit it to a film and television company after he finished writing it. Thus, she ignored everything and buried herself in work. With this phone, she should be able to do something big, right? At this moment, another incident appeared on the internet. The person who was in trouble was Zhuo Jing. Before this, Zhuo Jing had announced that he was going to immerse himself in creating. He expressed that it was better for him to create his own works, so that he wouldn't be involved in the storm from before. He hoped that all his fans would wait for his return. Of course, these words attracted the anticipation of all the fans. Even many passers-by became Zhuo Jing's fans, giving her a huge boost. In particular, Zhuo Jing had made it very clear that all her actions were out of respect for the original creator. This made the netizens very happy. She thought that he had a good character, and was very serious. Chapter 3770. The title of the post was, Zhuo Jing already knew there was something wrong with Kang En's song. The content of the post was, do you know why the original composer didn't say anything? It's because someone hacked her private website. If you're wondering why I know so much, it's because I'm a conscientious hacker that wanders the internet. I'm not going to waste my breath. No matter what I say, let's talk with concrete evidence. The following post was evidence that Zhuo Jing already knew there was something wrong with Kang En's song. Zhuo Jing's manager, Lu Quan, found evidence that a hacker had hacked into the original composer's private website. Not only were there chat logs, but there were also transfer records. All the evidence was clear as day. Lu Quan was Zhuo Jing's manager, so how could Zhuo Jing not know the truth? No matter how hard she tried to clear her name, it was impossible. The image that Zhuo Jing had maintained all this time collapsed at this moment. Especially the previous post where she said she was going to further her studies and work hard to create songs to express the fact that even the original composer didn't have it easy. It was like a slap to his face. Even though they knew Kang En had copied Bian's work, it was reasonable that Zhuo Jing's team didn't defend the original composer for their own benefit. As long as they refused to copy someone else's work, the fans and netizens wouldn't think there was a problem. But what Zhuo Jing's team did shocked them. They didn't choose to reject the original composer's request. Instead, they continued to hold concerts for their own benefit. They even found someone to hack into the original composer's private website. Weren't they trying to erase all evidence? Especially when they thought about Zhuo Jing's previous comments about respecting the original composer, working hard to create works, and refusing to plagiarize the work of others. She also said that they would pay more attention to these aspects in the future. The netizens were disgusted. We want to boycott all future works by Zhuo Jing. She's too disgusting. No wonder the original composer didn't respond. Her website was hacked. If she wasn't smart, they might have gotten away with it. I used to think that Zhuo Jing had a good character. But now I just want to vomit. I originally didn't have any feelings for Zhuo Jing. I was just a passerby who listened to his songs. The main thing was that his songs were really good. I'm not a fan of people under normal circumstances. As soon as Kang En was exposed for plagiarizing someone else's work, Zhuo Jing took all her songs off the shelves and returned the copyright to the original composer. She even apologized to him. At that time, I felt that this man was a real man. After working so hard for so many years, those songs could be considered his blood, sweat, and tears. How could he give them up? I didn't expect that sometimes, one thing a person does on the surface is completely different from what they do behind the scenes. This shows that you can't judge a book by its cover. If that hacker hadn't exposed us, we might have been deceived by them for the rest of our lives. Disgusting, disgusting. I'm never going to listen to him sing again. I won't buy the products he endorses either. I've been a fan for 5 years, and I'm as disappointed as I can be. How can he be such a person? I really want to lie to myself and not believe all of this. I really want to ignore all of this, but my conscience won't let me. Of course, there was another type of voice. After all, Zhuo Jing was such a popular singer. How could she not have some brainless fans? Chapter 3771. Don't say anymore. Zhuo has his own difficulties. After all, he can't cancel the concert, right? After all, there are so many fans waiting for him. He just doesn't want to disappoint us. That's right. We can't blame Zhuo for this. He promised before that he would definitely meet us at the concert. If he suddenly canceled the concert, we fans will be very sad. He just doesn't want us to be sad. Besides, I don't think Zhuo necessarily knows about this. Maybe his agent secretly went behind his back to deal with this matter? Maybe Zhuo's company did this. He's such a kind person. How could he do such a thing? Wake up. Stop washing your hands. No one forced him to cancel the concert. What we hate is that he went to hack someone else's personal website to destroy the evidence. Why did he destroy the evidence? Wasn't he afraid that the evidence would be exposed during the concert? They didn't expect that he kept a lot of evidence and didn't want it to go against his wishes. At first, I sympathized with Zhuo Jing. After all, such a big thing happened during the concert. Who knows how much he will lose? I really didn't expect this to happen. Anyway, I'm turning from a fan to an anti-fan. Don't say that he doesn't know. Didn't it leak that Zhuo Jing already has a certain amount of shares in the company? This is such a big thing. Even if it was done by his team, he would definitely know. Since he knew and didn't stop it, he is still the murderer of the original creator. There's no way he can clear his name. That's right. There's no way he can clear his name. The reason why the netizens were so disgusted was because of Zhuo Jing's previous 2 posts. The first one was to apologize to the original creator. The second one was that he was going to further his studies and was planning to write his own songs. These 2 posts were to show his attitude. He wanted to stop plagiarism and teach his fans to respect the original creator. Therefore, the good impression the fans and netizens had of him before was just as bad as the bad impression they had of him now. No matter what happened to Zhuo Jing in the future, he wouldn't be able to make a comeback in the short term. Everything that happened now was the price he had to pay for agreeing to Lu Quan's method of hacking Tang Guo's personal website. Because of the spontaneous boycott by the netizens, Zhuo Jing lost a lot of endorsements in a short period of time. Whether it was fame, wealth, or money, it was a huge loss. Especially the various problems fermenting on the internet. Those trending searches were the same as the last time. No one could remove them. They didn't reveal anything. I don't know who wants to kill you, Lu Quan said with a tired face. This is already the 17th termination notice I've received. If Zhuo Jing's image was damaged, it would also affect the products of those companies negatively. Because of the terms of the contract that they had signed, if an artist's moral integrity was damaged and caused a huge impact on the company and the product, they would be compensated. Now there's only one path. Apologize, lie down, and let them mock you. No matter what we say, it will arouse the disgust of netizens. Seeing that Zhuo Jing didn't say a word, Lu Quan continued, I've already asked someone to write the content. Take a look. If there's no problem, I'll ask someone to send it. Brother Lu, make the arrangements. Zhuo Jing, are you okay? Lu Quan patted him on the shoulder. Don't be disheartened. That group of netizens have some memory lapses. Sometimes they're like children with cerebral palsy. Chapter 3772. After some time, things will calm down on the internet. and there will be fewer and fewer people discussing it. During this time, you should immerse yourself first. Also, don't give up on creating works. You're a singer, not some artist who only relies on popularity and has no ability. As long as you have the ability, these black spots are nothing. The next time you take out a work, those who should buy it will still buy it. You just need to get over this hurdle. Zhuo Jing's studio and Zhuo Jing's account both sent an apology letter. Then it was as if he really lay flat. No comments, no rebuttals. No matter who scolded him, there was nothing he could do. Under such circumstances, some fans who really liked Zhuo Jing really felt a little sorry for him. But Zhuo Jing's incident was more disgusting, and most of them were still very disgusted. In short, they threatened to boycott everything that Zhuo Jing endorsed. Great host, Zhuo Jing's team is indeed smart. They know that when it comes to concrete evidence, it's useless no matter what they say. Instead, they immerse themselves. It's really different to be able to make Zhuo Jing famous. It seems that they want to wait for things to settle down before helping Zhuo Jing make a comeback. There are countless talents in this industry. It's not so easy to make a comeback. Even if they want to, Zhuo Jing's competitors might not want to. Moreover, half of the reason why Zhuo Jing became famous was because of those songs. Now he will never have the chance to sing those songs. Once he sings, he will be stared at on the pillar of shame. If he doesn't sing, how many good works will he need to support him to make a comeback? So this was Zhuo Jing's choice. After this incident, it was not so easy to make a comeback. She did not intend to ask anymore. The system thought for a while, and felt that Tang Guo was right. Oh right, great host. Those people who want to remove the trending topic are crying again. They can only vaguely tell Zhuo Jing that someone is targeting them. It's really too funny. The system felt that this was the most satisfying thing. Now, all the technical staff in their company are desperately looking for bugs. Capable. Thank you for the compliment. It's a blessing as a system to be able to help the great host. Unlike 111, every time he sends an email, he brags in front of me about how amazing his great host is. He only knows how to flatter and nothing else. If it weren't for the great host's brother, he would have been eliminated long ago. Would he still be so proud? Do you often email 111? Not often. It's just that guy. Every time he receives an award, he sends me an email to show off in front of me. He's really annoying. I feel that 111 is trash in the system. What is there to be proud of? Just based on this point, 222 is much better than him. 222 is hardworking and conscientious. This is the most outstanding system of the judges. If there comes a day when we can go to the space administration, I will definitely help you ask for a serial number. When that time comes, our little Tong will definitely become the most outstanding Tong, definitely surpassing 111. It's not a problem to surpass 111. I think that as a system, we shouldn't get carried away. After all, there's always someone better than us, and there's always another system. Being arrogant and conceited is not desirable. Very good. You're aware. Dear host, do you want to take a look in the group? Everyone is having a lot of fun playing video calls. Alright. Tang Guo Tang system helped her connect the group signal to her phone. Chapter 3773. Sure enough, when she opened it, she saw that many people had joined the video call. She also clicked on the join button. Instantly, all the people who joined the video call appeared on her phone. Ziyun, haha sister, have you solved the problem? This video call is a bit interesting. It's much better than the image stone. Margaret, I think it's better than the crystal ball. We can talk at the same time and see so many people. This function is really good. Also, I can take a lot of beautiful photos. By the way, Campus Bell, we found a new function. Click on our own profile picture, and we can enter our personal space. There we can post, send photos and send videos. It's really fun. Harold, I think this function is really terrible. That guy Alan actually put all my worst scenes in the memory stone on his personal status. How abominable. Alan. Harold, if you didn't show me my worst image, I wouldn't have thought of such a wonderful idea. Harold. In short, the hatred between us has increased by more than a little. It's impossible to resolve it. Alan, I think so too. Harold, if it weren't for the campus bell, I would have already beaten your small body. Margaret. Campus bell, do you think I look good today? Campus bell, yes. Qishao. Sister, do you want to see the immortal world? I'll go out and show you the scenery of the immortal world. Shengguan Yungu. Uncle Master, I've also reached the immortal monarch realm. But maybe it's because the small world is different. My immortal world is not the same as the immortal world of my master, so we can't meet. This was also Shengguan Yungu's regret. He originally thought that as long as he passed the tribulation and became an immortal, he could go to the immortal world and see Mo Yuntian and the others. He didn't expect things to be different from what he thought. But to be honest, the immortal world was really like what his master said. It was full of thrills. If it weren't for the reminder of the uncle masters in the group, he might have gone up with a confused face and would definitely be chased and killed. After so long, he gradually adapted to life in the immortal world. To be honest, he had never seen such a person who would kill someone without a word. If it was light, he would be injured. If it was heavy, his soul would be destroyed. The immortal realm was much more exciting than the mortal realm. School beauty. Yungu, you have to cultivate well. Now that we are in the small world, I guess that if we break through the small world, we may go to the vast thousand world in the future. There is still a chance for us to meet. There was no end to the path of cultivation. Shengguan Yungu. Since Martial Uncle has said so, I will definitely work hard to cultivate. I hope that one day, I will be able to meet Master and Martial Uncle. However, the people in the group were not too optimistic. Mo Yuntian and the others had been cultivating for so long. Even if they had reached the peak of the immortal world, it would be extremely difficult for them to take another step forward. But they didn't express it, as they didn't want to hurt Shengguan Yungu. Campus bell. This time, I'm in the modern world. Is there anything you want? Now we can video call. I can video call you all the way. You can choose whatever you want. Margaret, sure. I really like those dresses from before. I even added some gems on them. They look really pretty. Qishao. Sister, I won't stand on ceremony then. I want a car or a plane, anything that can run or fly. Chapter 3774. Qishao. There's nothing to do now. No matter how much you cultivate, your progress won't be too fast. It's better to dismantle some things and play with them. When the time comes, I'll popularize another means of transportation for the immortal world. It'll be much more comfortable than flying in the sky. School beauty, sure. I'll also buy you some books on how to build cars and airplanes. Brother Qishao is so smart. He'll definitely be able to figure it out. Qishao. Okay. That's the best. But girl, is it easy to buy such things? Will there be any problems? In the eyes of people like Qishao, the manufacturing and assembly manuals were the secrets of a sect. How could they be sold casually? After hearing Tangwa say that these things aren't a secret in her modern world, Qishao happily waited for her answer. Tangwa planned to get Qishao some mechanical products commonly used in the modern world, such as cars, bicycles, trains, airplanes, and some works in daily life. Qishao was a refiner, and he liked to fiddle with these things. Some information could be sorted out by the system for her. Just now, she also found a function in the group that allowed her to send documents. In other words, she only needed the system to help her sort out the electronic version with pictures to meet Qishao's needs. After discussing with the people in the group, Tangwa called Hua Yin over. After all, she was going shopping, and she couldn't do without a boyfriend. Of course, Hua Yin didn't say anything. He abandoned the director, who was pitifully begging behind him, and ran quickly in the direction of Tangwa's house. Director, the script has been completed. There's nothing to change now. You can just shoot it. Besides, I'm not the only screenwriter. If there's any problem, it's not a big deal. It can be solved. Everyone is very satisfied. There's no need to keep me here, right? My girlfriend is calling me. If I don't go, I may become a bachelor again. Director, you don't want me to become a poor guy without a girlfriend again, do you? Get out of here. You're so big, and you call yourself a poor guy. Disgusting. The director held the script and pretended to smash Hua Yan. Get out of here. I don't want you for the time being. Little Pitiful. Speaking of Little Pitiful, he was the real Little Pitiful one. Regarding Zhuo Jing's matter, the director was really grateful. Fortunately, he stopped the loss in time and was careful not to announce the title song in advance. If he wanted to change it now, it wouldn't affect anything at all. Gua it's rare to see you ask me out to go shopping. Hua Yan held Tang Gua's small hand and slowly strolled in the mall. Are you going to buy me clothes? Tang Gua asked. Hua Yan pointed at his shirt. Have you noticed that I've worn this shirt many times? Tang Gua understood what he meant. It turned out that Hua Yan was hinting for her to help him choose clothes. I'll help you pick out a few more outfits for you to wear. She just had to satisfy her boyfriend's small request. Hua Yan was so touched that he was about to cry. God knew how envious he was of the group of men in the film crew, who always said that their wives bought everything for them. His girlfriend was different. Whenever she was happy, she would take him to eat delicious food. If he wasn't a self-disciplined person, he would be as fat as a pig by now. He suspected that he was too handsome, and his girlfriend wanted to fatten him up, so that he wouldn't be tainted by some colorful things. Brother Hua, what are you thinking about? So engrossed? You even showed a silly smile. Tang Gua waved her hand in front of Hua Yan's eyes. Gua, in the future, can you help me pick out all my things? You're tuning in to the Dreamy Chapters YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.